I cannot believe that federal agents put their hands on a U.S. senator and arrested him and put handcuffs on him, and now for doing his duty to his constituents in his state. Because his people have questions. The people of whom he represents have concerns. And those concerns are based on the previous discussion that they had. I did on another video that you're going to hear the other congressmen and the legal representatives of the people of whom have been detained by ICE, of their inability to be able to simply see the people who are in those facilities. That the people who have been detained, which we know some of them have been U.S. citizens, are not allowed to be able to talk with their attorneys. They're being blocked from their ability to have congressmen see them, which is actually that congressman's responsibility, and they can, without notice, they can literally walk into any detention facility today, and if they want to enter, the responsibility of the person who is managing that facility is to arrange them to enter the facility. That's it. Just like if you were in prison for whatever reason or in jail for whatever reason and your attorney wants to see you, then your attorney gets to see you. That's how it works. There is no excuse. They get to see you, period. But that's not what is happening in this country. The violence being perpetrated here in LA is being done by ICE and being done by federal agents and being done by the Trump administration. I don't care how far we have to go. As far as I'm concerned, if there's a California delegation, they need to shut everything down. And I don't care. I don't care if it damages my capacity, the benefits that I use to be able to keep myself reasonably sane. I don't. I don't care how far this has to go. I'm done. Laying your hands on U.S. senators and denying people their ability while under detainment to be able to see lawyers or members of Congress, that's a step too far. That's a point too far. Like the threat to arrest Gavin Newsom. Yeah, screw them. It is time to accept the fact that Trump has to go, no matter what. I don't care how far it has to go. I don't care what has to be done. Trump needs to be removed from office. You do not put your hands on a U.S. senator. Unless, of course, maybe barring that senator actually physically, I don't know, driving cars into you or something. But if he is simply performing his duty of asking a question, you allow him to ask the question. The hell with you. Shut it all down, and I don't care how far this has to go. This has to end. Shut it all down.
So I want to say thank you to every single person that has been able to do this. Also, I want to talk specifically to the rioters and to the politicians in Los Angeles.
A half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your. Hands off.
How many of our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty? How they have been targeted?
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go and put behind my back.
All right. Cool. One hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
There's no recording allowed out here. I did not know. There's no recording allowed out here per FBI, right?
I am
member from the LA area, Luz Rivas.
Thank you, Congressman Gomez and my California colleagues. What Congressman Gomez, Torres, Correa, and I saw on Saturday and experienced while we visited the detention center in downtown Los Angeles was a stain on the values and on our country. Our communities are living in fear, and what they experienced this weekend was a crisis manufactured by Trump. It was unfortunate to watch what was happening. We were not let in. We were not allowed to fulfill our duty as Congress members to conduct oversight visits. And we met many families there that were, and attorneys of the detainees attempting to go in. And the way it was handled, even spraying some chemical agent at us, was horrible. Knowing that there were members of Congress outside of that detention center and they're willing to do that, imagine what they're willing to do to Americans. The protests that are happening in Los Angeles, like my colleagues have mentioned, we all condemn violence. We all condemn violence, but Los Angeles, I was born and raised in the city of Los Angeles. I still live in the city of Los Angeles. I have seen many, protests and unrest throughout my life. And this one is happening in like 3 small blocks in downtown Los Angeles. The images that we see on the media, of course, unfortunately, are people that are hijacking this for their own cause, but for the most part have been peaceful. The law enforcement of Los Angeles can handle this. There was no need to call in the National Guard. And
my colleagues, Representative Jimmy Gomez, Lou Correa, Luz Rivas, and I were illegally denied entry to inspect conditions and to receive a briefing as to the violent encounter that had occurred the night before. The conditions that we have been told that these migrants are being held under are nothing more than inhumane. President Trump's administration is escalating its anti-immigrant agenda in dangerous and unacceptable ways, from calls to mass deportations to the revival of family separation tactics, deploying the military on our streets. These conditions threaten the very fabric of our community. DHS and ICE are emboldened by this administration. They are operating outside of constitutional bounds. They are denying congressional oversight, using chemical agents against members of Congress, our staff, and targeting Latino neighborhoods with impunity. This is no longer about immigration policy. It is about human dignity and the rule of law. We are witnessing ICE ignoring federal laws designed to protect families. We are also seeing people going missing, families being torn apart, and even American citizens being wrongfully detained, caught up in the racial profiling.
I'm Congressmember Judy Chu from the Pasadena area of Los Angeles County. On Saturday, I got a call from advocates sick with worry about the fate of those arrested in the massive LA raids Friday. Family members and lawyers could not contact them. They did not know whether the detainees had food or medicine. Eyewitnesses had seen multiple vans taking detained immigrants from the Metropolitan Detention Center to the Adelanto Detention Center. They asked us, the members of Congress, to investigate, as is our right to do. So on Sunday morning, Congress members Gil Cisneros, Derek Tran, and I went to Adelanto to conduct our congressional oversight and ensure that these detainees were receiving due process. But as we pulled up to the front and were about to enter, ICE actually closed the chain link fences right in front of our eyes, locked the gates with chains, refusing to let us in. The law says that members of Congress can conduct oversight in any facility with detainees controlled by the Department of Homeland Security. But it is obvious that ICE and GEO, the private prison company of Adelanto, believe that they are above the law And it is obvious that they have this attitude because Trump believes he is above the law.
We checked multiple interviews that Trump gave to Fox News Channel and found he actually said this multiple times, including twice last week. Here's what Trump said on October 13th in response to a question about whether he expects chaos on Election Day.
I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
Trump then reiterated his comments during a taped town hall with Fox News' Harris Faulkner on October 16th.
They're very, very different. And it is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous.